Hi darlings, welcome back to my channel. Before jumping into the video, I want to address the elephant in the room, which is my cat in the room, who decided to take a nap on my sewing machine table while I'm filming. So, you know, cats, if they have made up their mind, they're doing it. So he is apparently staying throughout the video. Anyhow, in today's video, I will show you how to make a pattern for gathered ruched dress like the one you see me wearing here. I love making ruched dresses because they are super fun to make and they are really looking cute and beautiful, and I think that it's a great addition to any kind of wardrobe. Plus, today we will learn a new skill on how to adjust the basic dartless block, like the one you saw me making a few videos back. I will link it down below as well. So before jumping straight to the video, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsors of the video, SewEasy and Hemline, which are represented by Sew Group International Limited. SewEasy is a very well-known brand amongst quilters and patchworkers, and also they have a variety of sewing and storage tools. SewEasy assortment consists of over 250 amazing products that can be used by both beginners and professionals. Today, more than 1 million SewEasy rulers are used throughout the world, and in today's video you will see me using one of their amazing rulers, and you will understand why I keep saying amazing, because this product is really awesome. SewEasy places a high emphasis on quality and cutting-edge technologies such as laser cutting to ensure that their products are perfect and precise measured. So Hemline brand was created with a goal to develop a high-end haberdashery and sewing notion products, and today they have over 1,000 different sewing tools, so I am sure that no matter what task you're working on, you will find the right tool. Hemline products are popular all around the world because they offer affordable prices yet very good high quality and a big variety of different products. Today you can find Hemline products all over the world. They have spread it globally, and I am sure that from that 1,000 different product range you will definitely find the one that is best for you. Why I personally love SewEasy and Hemline products is that they offer affordable prices yet huge variety and very good quality of the products. When I'm choosing a new sewing tool, I am sure that either SewEasy or Hemline will definitely have me covered. Not only that they have amazing sewing tools and equipment, but they also have these cute little sewing notions, like for example this cup, which has a measuring tape and which is a very cute and sweet present for any kind of seamstress. So throughout this video, I will use several different SewEasy and Hemline products, and I will go deeper in why I chose these specific products, what are their benefits. Also, every single product that I will talk about in this video will be linked in the description down below, so please check it out if you're interested. And also, I will link to their website so that you can see their full assortment. One last thing that I want to mention is that by supporting SewEasy or Hemline products, you're also supporting Sew8 program, which helps women in developing countries learn how to sew, and they provide equipment, tools, and knowledge for them to start their own business, either it's sewing, repairs, or alterations. Sew8 program is primarily a teaching aid program, and it depends heavily on volunteers who volunteer their time and their skills and knowledge. So if you want to find out more about this wonderful Sew8 program, I will link it down in the description box. So now it's time to start our tutorial. So my hair is in a ponytail, which is a sign that we are starting to work on our dress pattern. So this dress pattern will be made from the basic dartless pattern block, which I showed you how to make in the previous video. Now, if you haven't seen the video, I will link it down in the description box, and the instructions are very easy to follow, and you can make your own basic dartless pattern block. Of course, if you have another dartless block already available, and if if it fits you well, you can use that one as well. So basically, you can use and reuse the same basic pattern block over and over again as long as your measurements are staying the same as the measurements of the pattern. And to do so, you just have to measure yourself and measure the pattern block every time before you start working on a new pattern. So at home, I like to use a loose measuring tape and just always have one laying around. However, when I'm on the go, I like to have a small retractable measuring tape like this one. So in case I need to measure a friend, a colleague, or a client, I have one available. Plus, since it's retractable, it always rolls up very nicely inside and without creating a mess in my bag. Also, the one that I am using today is from Neckline and it's super cute. Just look how beautiful this one is. So okay, now that you have measured yourself, measured your basic darkless pattern block, and everything fits you well, so I want you to have all those pieces ready available. We will be working both on the back and the front of the garment. However, all of our darts and all of our gathers will be created only on the front piece of the pattern, meaning that our front piece of the pattern will be asymmetrical, which means we will have to use not half of our pattern like we always use, but we will need the full version. So I want you to just go ahead, take a big piece of paper and just create this full version. I will just quickly show you. So this is half of the front pattern piece, and this is the full pattern piece, the front pattern piece. So you just take a big piece of paper, draw around your front pattern piece, then fold it like this and draw around again, creating a full front piece. Now for our pattern making, of course you will need rulers, and if you've seen any of my previous tutorials, you've noticed how I'm always switching between my long ruler, my 90-degree ruler, to the curved ruler, then again to the long ruler. So this time I have a solution from So Easy, which is a ruler like this, and it has a 90-degree angle, it has a long ruler, it has a French curve ruler, it also has a hip ruler right here and the ruler for the neckline. Now the good thing is that it comes in both centimeters and inches, so no matter what kind of measuring system you're using, you will be able to use this ruler. Also, because this comes in one device only, it's very convenient. You don't have to have all three rulers laying around all the time, just one ruler for all purposes, and we will see how this beautiful ruler works while making our pattern. So without any further ado, let's zoom into this pattern and let's start adjusting it to the dress that we want to make. So as you can see here, I have my full front pattern piece ready on the table, and we will start making our adjustments. So the first adjustments that we will be doing will be to narrow the sleeve part right here, because we don't want the shoulders to be this wide this time, and also we will widen our neckline just a little bit to create that beautiful boat neckline type. Later on we will be moving to the middle front, where we will be cutting and creating the gathers, and then later we will be just moving down and creating a beautiful tapered look. Let's start from the top. I will be doing all of my changes to the pattern with this red pencil that I have here. Of course, I always recommend to use a regular standard pencil, but it's basically invisible on the screen, so this is why I'm using a thick marker. So how to adjust the sleeves and the shoulders to not be that wide? First, you have to decide how much narrower you want it to be. In my case, I want this to be by 2 centimeters. shorter. From this line, I'm measuring 2 centimeters. Yes, and I'm using the ruler here. So I marked the 2 centimeters. Now at the bottom, it's up to you to decide whether you want to make deeper sleeve armhole or you want to keep the same armhole. Usually when I'm working on the sleeveless pattern, I like to use a 1 centimeter deeper armhole. It just feels a bit better for me to wear. So this is exactly what I do. From this point right here, I will mark down 1 centimeter. So now we will have to create the new curve right here, which will be our new armhole. And to do that, it's very convenient to use this ruler that we have right here. So it has indications. So we are creating an armhole curve. So it will start from 6 to 17 inches and from 15 to 43 centimeters. So I will find the 6 inches and to 17 inches. This is how the manufacturer recommends to do the armhole. So from 6 to 17, right? And here we have our new beautiful curve. You see that here we cut out a little bit more than here, so this is why the curve is not equal on all sides, but it's okay. Once we did that, we have to do the same with another sleeve, and we do exactly like that. We take out 2 centimeters here, 1 centimeter here, and then connect with the curved line. Beautiful. Okay, so once our sleeves are finished, we want to widen our neckline to create that beautiful boat neckline effect. So from the standard neckline point, we will take down 4 centimeters from this corner right here. Let's measure 4 centimeters right here, and from this point as well, 4 centimeters. Now it's up to you if you want to deepen your neckline. It's not necessarily needed. I like to deepen my neckline when I'm creating that boat neckline effect just a little bit from the standard, like 1.5 centimeters. So I will just mark down 1.5 centimeters here in the center of the neckline. And now we will connect of our necklines with our ruler. So again, the instructions on this ruler come very handy because they are showing us that the front neckline will be on 16 to 11 inches or 40 to 28 centimeters. So we are finding the mark which is 16 inches all the way to 11 inches. So this part of the ruler is the part where the manufacturer recommends to create the curve of the neckline. So let's follow advice like this. So at this point, we want to create the 90-degree angle with this line. So this is why I am creating a 90-degree angle right here. And then I will continue to join my neckline like this. And again, on the next side, we are doing exactly the same. Here is how our neckline will look like in the final look. Once we have this marked on the front piece, I want you to take your back piece and to mark all the markings that you created, because we will need to also adjust the back piece of the pattern exactly like we adjusted now the front. So what I like to do, I like to take my back piece, connect them at the shoulder line like this, and I just mark here where I made the cut in the front. I mark the same cut here in the back, and also at the shoulder line I am marking how much I've cut like this, and I will do the same marking at the armhole bottom. So I put both armhole bottoms together and I mark on the back piece what I marked in the front piece. So while we have our back piece here on the table, we can make the same adjustments. In the front, we lowered our armhole and where we shortened our armhole. So we connect these both points exactly the same way how we connected those points in the front so that our shoulder points match, right? The difference between the back and the front neckline that usually you don't have to deepen the back neckline, so I will just maybe deepen it by half of centimeter, something like this, and I will connect this point with a curved line. Again, this ruler comes very handy because it does give us indications when we're working on the back neckline to use 15.5 12-inch markings. So 15.5 and 12-inch marking is the marking that manufacturer recommends for the standard neckline. Because we are working on a little bit widen, we will not necessarily do that marking. However, I want you to do here again a small 90-degree angle and then connect it with a beautiful curve. Beautiful. Now let's switch again to the front piece. So now we have finished our top part of the design, and now I want you to move all the way down to the bottom. So in the standard block we made this bottom straight, meaning it went down from our widest hip point down straight. However, in this design, I want it to be a little bit narrowed here to create that beautiful figure effect. So at the bottom, I will mark 4 centimeters. If you want it to be even more narrow at the bottom, you can of course make more centimeters. I am making 4 centimeters, and I will be joining the widest hip point right here to the bottom point right here. And also we will do the same with this side. So again, I'm marking 4 centimeters at the bottom and I'm joining it with the widest hip point. Now that we have made the adjustment in the front piece, we need to do the same adjustment on the back piece. So here is the back piece. I will just remove the front piece so it's not distracting us, okay? And at the bottom, again, I'm marking 4 centimeters right here. And I'm connecting that 4 centimeter mark with the widest hip point. Okay, so this means that our back piece is ready. We adjusted the neckline, the armhole and the bottom, and that's it. We are not adding darts to the back side. So that means you can set the back piece aside. We will not need it anymore at this point. And let's bring back that front piece and create those beautiful, beautiful darts. So for creating our darts, we are creating a asymmetrical dress, meaning that it will not be the same on this side as it is on this side. So it's up for you to decide in which side you want your darts to be. I will add my darts here on this side, so I hope you're seeing it very well. So from this point right here, I will make a line which will be my line for cutting. It's up for you to decide what angle you want to do. Maybe you want to do it like this, maybe you want to do it like this. In my case, I want to do it like this, so something about 45-degree angle, and I am making my mark right here, so like this. Now I have to mark where I want my darts to and my gathers to go. So on the top side, I want my gathers to be from here to, let's say, here, and at the bottom side I want my gathers to be on the sides, so I want them to go from here all away from here. So once we've done these markings, I want you to take these scissors and I want you to cut through this line, also cut out these unnecessary lines, these unnecessary lines, and these ones, and these ones, and these ones. And then I want you to grab a piece of bigger paper and let's meet here. So now I have cut out all the red lines and I have my pattern ready for the fun part. And then the fun part is to create those beautiful gathers and those beautiful darts. So I will start with the front top piece. So I will just remove the bottom piece just for a little bit, okay? And let's focus on the front top piece. So here we mark where we want our gathers to be. And for our gathers, we need volume. To create volume, we need to cut this pattern piece out and to spread it, giving it a little bit of volume. So what do I mean by that? I will take my ruler and I will mark a line right here, then another line to meet from this side all the way to the middle, something like this, and then in between these lines I will make just a few more lines. The more lines, the more easy for you it will be to create those gathers. So I will just add a few more lines like this. So once you've done this, I want you to take your scissors and I want you to cut every single one of these lines. However, I want you not to cut all the way through, but just leave like half of centimeter at the top so that the pattern doesn't fall apart. So cut it like this, top about half a centimeter, and cut through each and every line. So once you have cut through your lines like this, I want you to grab a bigger piece of paper and return to the table. So we will start spreading our pattern, and the natural question for you might be how much to spread the pattern. So of course, because it's your own pattern, you're in charge how much to spread the pattern and how much volume you want to give to your gathers. My personal recommendation is choose the gathers based on the weight of your fabric. So if you're working on the very heavy fabric, I would suggest you do not spread the pattern a lot, because the gathers, if there are a lot of gathers, they will be bulky and will not look as beautiful. However, if you're working with lightweight fabric, you can spread the pattern a bit more to create and give that more volume. So in my case, I am working on medium, slightly heavier weight fabric, so I will not be spreading a lot, just a little bit, and I will show you exactly how to spread the pattern right now. So here I have my front top piece already with cut through gathers, not all the way cut through, but just a little bit left off the top so that the pattern does not fall out. And underneath I have a bigger piece of paper because I will draw around my pattern and create a new pattern piece. So for the spreading, my pieces are somewhat in the equal side, so I will try to spread them equally as well. So something like this. Because we're working on such a paper that loves to roll, I have my handy ruler here to keep them in place and just allow me to better position my gathers. So now that we have spread our pattern, again, you can spread it more, you can spread it less, it's up to you. We will draw around the pattern and to just make sure we have a beautiful pattern piece. So I'm taking my marker and I'm starting to draw around the armhole, the shoulders, the neckline. Here I will mark where my center of my neckline is. And here at the bottom I am drawing here, and I will mark here where my first slit starts. I will mark that this is where my gathers must start. Also, I will mark the middle here, and I will connect this with the middle of the neckline so that I know how I will have to place my pattern later on. So now when we are doing our gathers right here, we just need to mark them here, the top. You can mark the bottom as well. You don't have to go all the way through here, you just have to mark the top and the bottom of every piece. And again, here where the first side slit starts, you have to mark it as well, because this is where your gathers will finish. So be very careful not to move your gathers once you started to draw around them, because it may affect the accuracy of your pattern. So I will now take off my ruler and I will take off this pattern piece. So here where I marked my center of my neckline and the center of my entire pattern, I will connect them with the straight line, because when I will be positioning my fabric for cutting, I know that this line that we just made will have to be on the straight grain. And now here we will connect these with this curved ruler right here. So you notice how this one is lower than this one. So I just going to draw somewhere between the middle. So something like this. So don't forget that these markings show where our gathers will start and will finish. So this pattern piece is ready and you can set it aside. Now I want you to take the front bottom piece and we will do exactly the same that we did with the front top piece. So here we marked where our gathers will be. So this means that we will have to make cuts here, here, and somewhere in the middle. So from this point right here, I will mark a straight line. Again, you can choose the angle that you want. And here I will probably just use the same line as this. Here somewhere in the middle, I will mark just a few more slits so that I later have an easier time spreading my pattern. Again, same as we did with the front piece, I want you to cut from here all the way here till about ½ centimeter so you have an easier time spreading your pattern. So again, as with the front top part, with the bottom part, I have a big piece of paper laying underneath my pattern. I have my pattern details spread it the way I want them to be spread. And now I'll just go ahead and draw around the pattern. Again, don't forget to mark where your first slit starts because that's where your gathers will start as well. Also, don't forget to mark the middle at the bottom because this is how you want to align your pattern. So here. Now that we draw around the pattern, let's remove this piece. Here at the bottom, I marked where the center of the pattern goes, so I will just connect it with the straight line. This will help us when we will be cutting the fabric and we will need to position the pattern on the straight grain. So like this. Now again, we have at the side here the gathers and we will connect them with a curve. This is why I love working with pencil because you just can easily erase if something is not necessary. So now that we have this pattern piece ready, I want you to cut it out from paper and let's meet at the fabric and I will show you how to cut this pattern out of the fabric. So once the pattern is finished, it's time to cut it from fabric and start assembling. So the hardest part of the video is done. So before cutting out the fabric, I want you to remind a few guidelines. First of all, we are working with the stretch fabrics, meaning that you have to wash the fabric and iron it before cutting it out. You want to pre-shrink your fabric so that you later do not have an incident when you make a garment, wash it, and it shrinks. So you want to do the washing before cutting the fabric and just pre-shrink the fabric so that you are sure that it does not shrink later on. Second thing that I want you to remind that when we were making our pattern, we did not add any seam allowance. So we have a very handy tool today from Hemline, which will allow us to add the seam allowance very easy. So this little thing has all kinds of different edges, 2 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 3, 1, and etc. So we will draw around our pattern and then with the help of this Hemline seam gauge, we will just add easily the seam allowance. Also very handy that it has written recommended seam allowances for the bottom seam, side and shoulder seams, and armhole and neckline. And last, third thing that I want to remind before we start cutting is that the front pieces, both front pieces, are asymmetrical pieces, so we will be cutting it on one layer of the fabric, and the back piece is symmetrical, meaning we will be able to cut it on the fold. So I will start and show you a little bit how to use the seam gog and how to cut the asymmetrical piece. So now I will start cutting my asymmetrical front pieces, meaning that my fabric is here on one layer and not on the fold. So here I have the top front piece, and remember when we made the line in the center, I mentioned that it will be our straight grain line, meaning that this line right here has to be parallel with the side line, so it has to go like this. I will go ahead and draw around my pattern piece with the chalk. Again, I'm marking the middle. It will be easier for me to navigate later on. And also don't forget to mark those markings where your gathers starts. It will be very handy for us later on. Usually I do this on the floor because my fabric keeps sliding off from me today, so I will just double check if everything is correct and accurate. So I drew around my pattern and I can remove the pattern piece. Next, I take the hemline seam gog and I will just go ahead and mark 1 centimeter seam allowance on the neckline, on the shoulders, on the armholes. At the sides, I will leave 1.5 centimeters, and here at the bottom I will also leave 1.5 centimeters. So it's very handy to go just like this. The marking here is 1 centimeter, so I put one edge to the line of my chalk and another one I just draw around. Super easy to do this seam allowance with the help of this seam gog, and I just run around my entire pattern so easily and so effortlessly. Usually if you would do this with a ruler, it would be very much more time consuming because you will have to play with that big ruler, but with the help of this seam gog the process is very easy. So now at the sides I will switch to this 1.5 measure and I will just continue doing the same. So once you mark all around with the help of gog, it's up for you. You can either cut through these points or you can just connect them with the line and then cut through the line. It's up to you. If you're a beginner and you feel more comfortable, I do recommend connecting with the line, but if you're more advanced, you can just go ahead and cut through all these dotted lines. So the same way I just showed you how to cut the front top part, I want you to do the same with the top bottom part. Again, at the bottom we mark the straight line, which will be the straight grain marking, and when you will be cutting the back, don't forget that the back is cut on fold, so fold the piece and then cut the back. Also, I wanted to show you that today I am cutting the fabric with these beautiful scissors from Hemline, which have that beautiful multicolor finish. Also, these scissors are double plated with a nickel and chrome finish for lifelong protection. So if you take good care of your scissors, they will serve you a lifetime. And now let's see how these beautiful scissors can cut. Okay, so as I mentioned, I will be just cutting through those dotted lines. As usual, don't forget to use your other hand to press the fabric so that it doesn't slide off and you get accurate cutting results. So when you're cutting the fabric out, I want you to cut out tiny notches where your gathers will be so that later on it's easier for you to navigate the fabric. So one front piece is ready, and you can continue to the bottom of the front and the back pieces. So once you cut out the pattern pieces from the fabric, it's time to do the assemble. And in this video, I will not show you a detailed step-by-step how to assemble this dress, but just let's quickly run through all the steps and I will explain how to sew this beautiful dress together. So here we have the top front piece and the bottom top piece. So the wrong sides of the dress are facing upwards. It's important that both these pieces are facing the same way. We will start from sewing from this point to this notch where the top gather starts, and we will just join them with the seam. Additionally, we will start with the side, we will put it to the bottom side and also sew till the gather notch, and in between we will create the gathers. And to fit this distance, if you don't know how to make the gathers, I will link down below the Instagram reel where I show how I make my gathers. So you want all that extra gather fabric to fit nicely in this line. Once you have connected the top and the bottom pieces, it's time to sew the sides. So your top and front pieces would be already sewn together, so you would start to attach it to the back piece like this. From the bottom of the armhole, you would be attaching the side till you meet the gather for the side, then you would attach the bottom and again fit the gathers. Once the gathers are done with, just simply connect the sides, the shoulders of the dress, then you would do the hemming, and later on you would cut the facing for the neckline and the armholes and finish them this way. So this is it for today's tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you make a dress using this tutorial, I would love to see it, so please don't hesitate to send me an Instagram DM message. I would really love to see your creation. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!